Shadow the Hedgehog. Why does that name haunt me? It's the only thing I can remember. And that gruesome image. Maria! Who am I? And why can't I remember anything? And who is this Maria? Look how pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans.
Shadow. As you can see, the day of reckoning will soon be here. Find the 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to me as promised.
Huh? Who are you and how do you know I'm Shadow? And what are you talking about? Just what was that all about? If he says he knows the truth about who I am, then like it or not, I have to believe him. The only way I'm gonna get the secrets to my past is to get those Chaos Emeralds. Promise time, huh? Time to go and fulfill this promise. No! Hey, Shadow. Long time no see. Looks like these black creatures really mean business. Let's do it and show them the difference. Can't get along. That's a Chaos Emerald. I can feel the power welling up.
Shadow. From now on, my eyes shall follow you. Stop my face on
What the heck is HQ doing?
If either the blue or red gauge is filled up, press the Y button to use one of my... The power of justice grants me chaos control, the ability of instant teleportation. The power of evil gives me the ultimate destructive power of Chaos Blast. I can use those gun defense robots to get past here. Pressing the X button while atop the safe point will teleport me to other safe points. I think I can grab onto the underside of this and then flip it by using the X button.
Hold the line, man! We have a game. Man status report.
Behold the ultimate power!
Man status report.
I found it. The second Chaos Emerald. Once I find all of the emeralds, then I'll find the truth. Perfect.
The black aliens have hit 6 major cities around the world, and every city is reporting significant damage and casualties. Among them, Westopolis has received the heaviest casualties due to its weakened defense system. Downtown Westopolis has been almost completely destroyed. Unconfirmed sources have also reported seeing a black hedgehog in Westopolis.
Shadow? Deploy the troops now! And if you find Shadow with the black aliens, then kill them all.
But sir, isn't Shadow on our
I
side?
gave you an order, soldier. He's evil and he's the enemy. You can't fool me, Shadow. This time, you're mine.
You've deliberately disobeyed me, Shadow.
No one tells me what to do. I have my own reasons for collecting the Chaos Emeralds.
You really don't understand the situation here, do you? Perhaps Professor Gerald has done more to your memory than I imagined.
The Professor?
Strange that you don't remember your maker.
What'd you say?
Silence! The ramifications of your disobedience will be severe.
Where am I? Whoa. I guess I underestimated his powers. There's definitely something going on out there. Now it's up to me to find out what they're up to.
Alrighty, so we have returned to Glyphic Canyon, but this time we're not just going to be running through to the end for the neutral mission. This time we're going to be helping out that good old knucklehead Knuckles in taking out the Black Arms forces here in Glyphic Canyon. And this is actually a much more forgiving level than Westopolis when it comes to the hero and the dark missions. You know, only the hero mission is a defeat all enemies, but it's not really defeat all enemies. There are quite a few more, I think it's like maybe 5 or 6 more aliens that they actually require you to kill, because there's a bunch of the alien spawn blobs that show up in this level on the walls, and you know, you can just take them out, and because of how many there are, if you get to the end, you don't always have to kill all the enemies in the final area because you took out all the blobs. So that's nice. You know, you can miss a few in Glyphic Canyon and still complete the hero mission. You know, it's shown that, you know, clearly the game developers thought of that, so I don't know why they couldn't have extended courtesy to some of the other missions, especially so early in the game. Again, you know, Westopolis, there is the Golden Gun Beetle that is in a lot of the levels with the gun forces, but that's one extra one, and only if you're doing the dark mission. You know, if you're doing the hero mission, that's never really going to apply to you, and I'm pretty sure this is the only level where there's one more, there's a bunch of more because of this. I'm pretty sure all the other levels with the alien spawn don't require you to kill all aliens, so yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing that, you know, they had it in Glyphic Canyon. Did they just forget when making Glyphic Canyon? Did they mean to only have 60, but they just forgot and left several spawn in, and then it's oh, well, I guess we're just letting that happen. I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, it's nice that Glyphic Canyon has that. I gotta give it some credit, even though I just consider it to be a weaker version of Sky Troops. But you know, I gotta give it some credit where it's due. And you know, on that topic, I feel like I should discuss that there are some level themes that are pretty similar in Shadow the Hedgehog. Glyphic Canyon is pretty similar to Glyphic Canyon is pretty similar to Skytroops. Digital Circuit is pretty similar to Mad Matrix. Final Haunt and The Last Way are pretty similar to each other, as well as with Black Comet. You know, the Doom and Lost Impact are both pretty similar levels. Central City and Westopolis and Lethal Highway are all pretty similar levels. Most of the Eggman stages are pretty different from each other, but you know, the Ark and Space Gadget and even Cosmic Fall are all pretty similar to each other, roughly. And it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, it's interesting that they reuse so many level ideas, and it's like, okay, they did that in a game like Sonic Adventure 2. Like, there's usually one hero level and one dark level that were pretty similar, but it never quite felt the same in that one. You know, like, not only because sometimes it wouldn't line up, like, you know, not every speed character level lined up with a speed character level in the other half of the story. It's like, you know, Shadow's Radical Highway was similar to Tails' Mission Street, but Sonic didn't really have a level parallel like that. Or, you know, Shadow's Skyrail is similar to Knuckles' Pumpkin Hill. And it's like, in that game, it's like, the aesthetics and the fact that sometimes you played as different characters, it really helped out Sonic Adventure 2, to where it's like, okay, yes, they are reusing assets and level design, or they're not level design, but they're reusing assets, yes, but it feels like a pretty different experience. Whereas in this game, it feels a lot less so, especially in the Arc levels. And this one's also pretty bad, but it's like, they feel just a little bit less creative with their reuse of assets in Shadow the Hedgehog than they did in Sonic Adventure 2, which is unfortunate, you know. I would have hoped that they could flesh things out a little bit better, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me being picky. But, you know, it just invites a little bit more comparisons, because it feels a little bit more blatant, a little bit less obvious, and, you know, that's unfortunate. You know, I much prefer Skytroops to this level, because the mission objectives are just better, and the music is better, which I don't think I've talked about that too much so far in these playthroughs. But the music in Shadow the Hedgehog is pretty weak, if I'm going to be honest. It's really not that amazing. Like, Digital Circuit, Encrypted Castle, and Gun Fortress, and Skytroops are some of the better ones, but even then, like, I probably wouldn't place a single thing from this game's level theme. I wouldn't place a single level theme from this game into, like, best Sonic soundtracks of all time. There are the vocal tracks, though, and I do want to briefly discuss them. So there is the... Actually, I'll discuss that here, I think, in the next level, because we're almost done here. But yeah, I'll discuss the vocal tracks here shortly, but yeah, that's Glyphic Canyon's hero mission. There's at least a few extra aliens, so that's nice.
Their oppression cannot go unopposed. Perfect.
Mr. President, we've received a report from the Central Information Agency. Our ground troops have successfully pushed back the black aliens from Westopolis. We've also managed to suppress enemy forces in 5 other cities. There's also reports that the CIA's mainframe has been compromised. We're investigating the incidents now. It is a strong possibility that this was also committed by the black aliens.
Tell the commanding generals that the United Federation will never surrender to terrorists.
Yes, Mr. President.
This planet was once saved from tyranny and annihilation by you 2 heroes. Now mankind must protect this peace at all costs. We must stand united to defend our world against these invaders.
Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? Isn't that Tails?
Look at that! It's Eggman's theme park! He made it out of the rings he's taken from around the world. I've got to get those rings back.
A Chaos Emerald. This is just too easy. Guess it's my lucky day.
Well, before I actually start talking about the vocal tracks, I definitely should be talking about the mission that we're going to do here. And we're doing the hero mission of Circus Park now. We're going to be helping out Tails and getting back all of the stolen rings that made Circus Park, which, like, this is such a weird thing, because, like, in Sonic, they kind of, like, change what rings are for throughout the series. Like, in the classic games, they're just there to keep you alive, right? They're basically just your health bar, and, you know, with the energy bar when you have Super Sonic, right? Like, that's really all they're for. But, you know, in a game like Sonic Unleashed, they have you use rings for money. And that is the case in a few other games as well, where it's like, okay, well, use the rings you collect to buy stuff. And it's like, okay, I guess. But then, like, in Sonic Generations, it's like, he collects how many gold rings? Where does someone put all of them? It's like, is that supposed to, like, imply that they're food? I don't know. Or it's like in this game, you know, you have Circus Park where Tails is like, Eggman built them with all the stolen rings. And it's like, okay, first of all, these rings just seem to exist as, like, objects in the world that just infinitely spawn in places. Like, what is Tails talking about? Who claims ownership to rings? Like, how does he dictate what is stolen? And also, like, we can clearly get more than 400 rings, so I don't understand what the objective is here. Okay, so we get 400 rings. Why did Tails decide 400 rings? How is that gonna destroy Circus Park? Does Eggman have a, if someone wins 400 rings, then blow up the park, like, programmed in or something? It's like, what exactly does Tails think he's accomplishing? Maybe he's just like, okay, well, Eggman stole all this money, so if I go and, you know, win back everything he stole, even if there's, like, more to it, then at least I can give it back to the people. And, like, I guess, but I don't know, it's just such a weird concept. But, yeah, so for Circus Park's hero mission, you gotta collect a lot of rings, and really, if you get hit more than once or twice, or if you ever fall off the stage, just restart. It's not worth it. You know, I do get 400 rings before the end of the level, and, like, there are still more rings past what I get in this level, but, definitely, if you die, you pretty much just want to restart the level, because even though in Shadow the Hedgehog you don't lose all of your rings when you get hit, if you get hit a couple of times, then, like, it might be enough to sink you from not being able to reach the 400 ring mark. So just something to sort of keep in mind, I would say, is just try not to get hit, and if you do, just restart the level and go through it. But there's a lot of things that you can do. You can go through the rings, and you'll like the Rings of Flame, and you'll get some rings. You can go to Eggman's shooting galleries, which some of them are easier than others, and you'll get a bunch of rings. If you get enough speed and you go into, like, the bells that you can jump into, then you'll get rings from that. And there's, of course, just rings in the level in general. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty fun level. I like Shadow's one-liner at the end of this level where he's like, "Sorry, Doctor, I got no time for games." I don't know, I just think that's a little bit charming. You know, I like Circus Park. It's one of the better levels for both the hero and the dark mission. Like, I don't think it's very easy. Like, I think it's pretty easy to get all of the gun soldiers in this level. Like, none of them are really hiding, and the 400 rings mission, it feels pretty fun. And getting to the gold ring is also pretty fun. And it's just a fun level to look at. Like, I know there's a ton of casinos in Sonic in general, but this is a good one. Yeah. So I guess I'll talk about the vocal tracks here while we have some time. So each of the different stage 6s awards you with different vocal tracks. I don't remember all of them, but the neutral route gives you Waking Up. And I really like Waking Up. I think it's kind of an underrated Shadow vocal track where it's like, yeah, you know, it sort of does describe Shadow's kind of mental state of, you know, having amnesia and just generally trying to figure out what the hell's going on in his life. And hey, it even has Omega as a backup singer, so that's cool. You know, not too many Sonic songs can have that. You know, there is All Hail Shadow, which everybody loves, but honestly, I've never been the biggest fan of All Hail Shadow. Like, it's not like a bad song, but I just kind of always let, like, you know, people hype it up. I'm like, really? This is your GOAT? You know, again, not trying to insult people, but, you know, I was just never a big fan of it. I always thought it was kind of overhyped. But I Am All of Me is definitely a huge banger. Yeah, I've always liked that one. I think it's I Am All of Me is the pure dark song, and then All Hail Shadow is the hero one, if I recall correctly. And then I still have 2 more to talk about, but we'll just have to save it for the next med level. So, yep.
Sorry, Doctor. I got no time for games. Perfect.
Commander! Comm Sector B3 are reporting that the black aliens have successfully been driven out of Westopolis. We've contained them in the forest, and they're completely cut off from the rest of their support.
Well done, Captain. What about Shadow?
Sir, we think Shadow escaped into the forest with the black aliens.
Alert all field commanders in Sector B. I'm authorizing full use of all tactical weapons. I want both black aliens and Shadow stopped and buried. Failure is not an option.
Yes, sir.
It's over, Shadow. You'll finally be exposed and eradicated for the evil that you are.
Alright, so as an opposite to Central City, you know, in Central, so Central City is on the pure dark pathway for Stage 4. And in that one, you know, the war wasn't going as well for the humans, and the aliens invaded Central City with a huge force. Whereas this is Death Ruins, the Stage 4 on the pure hero pathway. And in this one, you know, the aliens have been pushed into the jungle and they're being cornered. So yeah, this time, right now, we're going for the Dark mission, which means we're going to be ignoring Rouge the Bat here, and we're just going to go for the goal ring to get out of the forest. So yeah, it's you know, pretty simple level. Just get to the goal ring. You know, it is what it is. It's a more unique level theme, but Death Ruins has a pretty annoying, I would say, soundtrack. So I'm not the biggest fan of this level. Yeah, pretty simple level, and so I want to talk about the other 2 vocal tracks that I didn't get to mention while talking over Circus Park. So the other 2 that I did not mention were Almost Dead and The Chosen One. So Almost Dead is the the semi-dark pathway song. So when you defeat Black Comet, and then The Chosen One is when you do the semi-hero pathway. And they're both pretty interesting. You know, Almost Dead is kind of like okay. You know, it's not the greatest. It's just kind of another song. And then the Chosen One song is, you know, people have described it as kind of the emo song. It is kind of mournful. You know, it has topics about, like, you know, wishing I'd never been born, and it's like, you know, it sort of fits the vibe of the Cosmic Fall ending. So I think that Chosen One is still a good one. You know, it's more like being a tragic hero, I feel like, is kind of the vibe of that song. So yeah, the vocal tracks, I would say, minus All Hail Shadow, are all pretty good. Okay, I really shouldn't say that, because I don't hate All Hail Shadow. I just kind of like, I'm so not really into it, but I also don't hate it, so, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, all the vocal tracks are still pretty good in this game. You know, at least they managed to get that right. amidst everything else that sort of happened during this game. It's a little bit unfortunate that so much of the music feels like it suffered. Even aside from the level themes, the boss themes are just not really interesting, and not that there are many bosses. I guess the Black Doom boss fight that you see a couple times is okay. But I don't know, I'm just not really a big fan of Shadow's OST. I feel like the Shadow the Hedgehog OST is probably like bottom 5 worst OSTs in the series. Like, I'm not even sure what else comes close. Even most of the Game Gear games have better soundtracks than Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm honestly struggling. Even games that I like less than Shadow the Hedgehog have better OSTs. But it is what it is. That's about all I had to say about the music, and that's it for Death Ruins. But we have a boss here shortly.
They're my only clue to finding out the truth, and I won't let these humans get in my way. Perfect. Having a little trouble with those gun agents, are we?
What a pitiful bunch.
What'd you say?
We're not here to exterminate these poor creatures. On the contrary.
What? What is he talking about?
What are you saying?
All will be revealed tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Shadow, you should rest. You need to be ready for tomorrow's ritual.
You scum! You're going down!
And by you should rest, I mean that you should, fight Black Bull and probably die or kick its ass, Shadow.
Yeah, sorry about that Black Doom voice, but anyway, yeah, this is the Death Ruins fight against Black Bull, and I believe I mentioned when I went over the Lethal Highway version, but this is just so much easier, because Black Bull just stands there floating in the middle, and you just attack the alien, grab his gun, jump into the air, and unload the bullets on him, and he does nothing. All he does is shoot stuff at you, and that's it. It's so easy. Who thought this was a good idea?
Oh, you did it!
There's no way you can stop me. Perfect.
What's up, Shadow?
Not you again.
Nice to see you too. Looks like those black creatures are headed out to space. We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
Ark.
Come on, let's roll. Next stop, the Ark.
Space colony. Ark. This place. So familiar. But why? This is where Maria?
Oh yeah, bring it on! Looks like the party's getting started. Time to rock and roll! You up for this, Shadow?
So, we are back at Space Gadget, and we're finally not doing the Dark mission, right? Kind of like Glyphic Canyon, how we've only done the Neutral mission. We've only done the Dark mission of Space Gadget so far, so now we're going to be doing the Neutral mission. And similarly to Cosmic Fall, how those two levels are pretty similar, the Neutral and Hero missions of Space Gadget are very similar, which means that when we get to the Hero mission, I'm really going to not have anything to say, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But in the meantime, we're doing the Neutral mission. So in the Dark mission, we had to take out these big green defense systems for the Ark, but since we're doing the Hero mission, or the Neutral mission, we are racing Sonic to the goal like we would for the Hero mission, but we have to lose. That green timer on screen, it has to hit 0 before we're allowed to actually hit the goal ring, otherwise we will do the Hero mission. And I gotta question why the game design is like that. Like, you know, it's like the missions should be separate from each other. You shouldn't like be forced to wait around to complete a level. But like the timer in this level is fairly forgiving. You know, I get a pretty good boost, and I think I have to wait like over a minute at the goal ring. But you know, even if you're a little bit slower and you don't get the chaos control that I do, you can still get to the end of the level, like the goal ring, like pretty decently fast. Like, you can still get there like maybe 30 seconds before the goal, and you know, again, if you're trying to do a Neutral mission because you want to go to Cosmic Fall from here, then you just gotta wait for Sonic to quote-unquote get the Emerald, and then magically you can go get it now. And oh yeah, that thing. This is something that seems to happen only on Space Gadget, and like only this part, but like when you're holding forward, Shadow will suddenly turn around and like slow down for a second before going like forward again. And I've tried to stop it by like jumping, but he'll still do it, and I really don't know what causes it. Again, it seems to be something that only happens here in Space Gadget on like those platforms. So why or how that happens, I really have no clue. But it's one of those weird oddities of Space Gadget. But yeah, you know, you're just sort of rushing through this one, taking out whoever you want, because it's a Neutral mission and it doesn't matter. You know, if you were doing the Hero mission, you wouldn't want to attack the gun forces, but you can blast a gun mech out of your way if they're annoying you in the Neutral mission. But pretty much what I try to do is like once I get past this little segment here, I try to make sure that I have a full hero gauge so that I can, yeah, right here. So if I do this, then I get up to here, and then if I use this, then once I get out, then I can use a pretty good chaos control. I did actually screw it up here because I got it a little bit too early, but if you have a chaos control right here, you will blast over this entire rail segment that is very final chase slash final rush vibes. But yeah, that is very fun to do when you pull it off, and you know, I'm sure I'll do it in a future playthrough of either the Neutral or the Hero missions of Space Gadget. But that is something I love doing, is getting a chaos control right at the end and just blasting over this entire rail segment. But as you'll see, I have about a minute and a half left, and that's the goal. Yeah, I got here really fast. And again, if you want to do the Neutral mission, you have to wait until Sonic wins the race, which again is so weird, because like, if you let the timer expire, Shadow's like, ha! Score 1 Chaos Emerald for the good guys. Sorry, Shadow, old buddy. But then, like, you just immediately walk into the goal ring and you have the Chaos Emerald. Like, I don't know. Again, maybe if this game was, like, better designed, like, if you do the Hero mission, then you get the Emerald. But if you do the Neutral mission by losing to Sonic, maybe you have a unique Sonic boss fight, like, rival boss fight here. at Space Gadget, where it's like Shadow's like, I may have lost the race, Shadow, or I may have lost the race, Sonic, but I'm gonna kick your butt and I'm gonna take that emerald for myself. And he's like, haha, bring it on, Shadow. And then that's how he gets the emerald or something. I don't know. Just something that would be cool, but yeah, that's really all I have to say about Space Gadget. It's a decently fun level, but I don't think the neutral and hero missions should have been tied together like this, so you know, it is what it is, and since we're going to Cosmic Fall and I've already talked over that, I guess I will see you guys at the credits.
Score 1 Chaos Emerald for the good guys. Sorry there, Shadow, old buddy.
The Ark. Will I ever find the rest of my memories here? Perfect.
Damn it. What does it all mean? These memories, the doctor's actions and words. Nothing makes sense. Was it real?
It's been a long time, Shadow.
Who are you? And how do you know my name?
I know you, Shadow the Hedgehog. You killed everyone I loved. My family, Maria. I've been waiting all my life for this day.
What? Me? And Maria?
Maria was like a sister to me. She was the only family I knew. And because of you, she was killed. Witnessing it all, the plan to create that horrifying evil creature. That black creature and that insane professor who unleashed it all.
So, the professor created me with Black Doom?
You don't fool me! It's not just about Maria. Thanks to you, everyone I knew and loved was killed when the Ark was destroyed. Worst of all, my family! Finally, justice is served!
If what you say is true, then I will respectfully accept my fate.
You mean to tell me that you really don't remember a thing?
But I just need some time to uncover the real truth. Is this whole place collapsing? It looks like the whole Ark is falling apart around me. All of the passageways are collapsing.
Look, Shadow. Once our army attacks, the Ark will fall. You must hurry on ahead and get the Chaos for their pure strength form the core of our army. Look down. The humans are powerless to stop us. Destroy them all. That transport is still active.
Well, if it isn't Shadow! We've got to make it to the computer room before this place collapses! You can give me a hand? Dun doesn't stand a chance! You can't let this happen to them! That's how it's done! Everything's falling apart! We've got to hurry before it's too late! What the heck is that? That passageway is floating and spinning! Hey, nice move! Jump! If we stay on this any longer, we're in for a long drop! Jump!
Behold the ultimate power!
This must be the Ark's power play!
Chaos control!
The exit is up there! Find a way to get there! onto that rocket and use it to get over there! Hey, look there! It's the computer room! Bingo! The computer room!
For what reason do I exist? The answers are just up ahead. Perfect.
What is this defiance?
Black Doom, I need to know the truth. Am I the one the humans refer to as the Evil One? Tell me. I need to know.
It is true. I created you. You are a part of me.
Hey, Shadow! You okay?
If that's true, then I'll have to accept my responsibilities for my crimes. I will avenge the victims who died aboard the Ark on that tragic day.
The humans seem to have convinced you with this absurdity. Therefore, I have no choice but to kill you too. Those humans have brainwashed you and your feeble mind. Allow me to remind you of the truth.
Don't listen to him! We need to defeat him! A normal attack won't do anything! You need to find a weak spot!
Take this.
If you're high enough, you should be able to strike directly!
Be gone. Take this.
His aim with those meteors is just about perfect! Make sure you run from them!
On guard. Swift strike. Take this.
Try jumping to avoid the boomerang attack!
Be gone. Swift strike.
Just dodge to the left or right to avoid the disc attack! It's easy!
Take this. Your power seems to have increased a bit. Now, I shall show you no mercy.
My investigative techniques reveal a pattern to where he will appear! Try to predict where he'll be next!
Behold the ultimate power!
Be gone. Take this.
Damn it.
You traitor. Do not think that this is over.
This is what I must do for my atonement. Finally, I've got all the Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow. This isn't over yet. The Black Arms will rise again.
I am Shadow the Hedgehog, a research experiment gone deadly wrong. I've caused so much destruction. I should never have been created. This is who I am.
Hey, don't go there! Yet, things may not be what they seem. You could be.
So, route number 226, the Fall Home. In this one, Shadow ignores everyone in Westopolis and just decides to start gathering the Chaos Emerald, but then he decides to help out both Knuckles and Tails over in Glyphic Canyon and Circus Park, respectively, and, he figures the gun soldiers probably have it under control in Death Ruin, so, he doesn't go for the gold ring to help out Black Doom. He just is like, whatever, gun soldiers, you got your own problems, you got it yourself, I'm not gonna help out, I don't need to bother. Then he goes to Space Gadget, but his head's not really in the game, he's still kind of reeling from the memories that he's got, and, he's starting to remember who he was, so he loses his race to Sonic and Space Gadget, and, he then sort of wanders off alone to where the part of the arc where Cosmic Fall happens, and, he decides to help out Vector, and, he sort of realizes, some of his history through the data that Vector has. And, it's sort of like a, he goes on his journey, but, it's not really, it's sort of like a fall from grace, I guess. But it's, he's falling home. He's returning to his home after, kind of just going along this adventure. He starts to remember things and he starts to question where he is. He's falling from maybe the perception that he has of himself that, like, maybe he was better. And that journey of discovering the truth about himself leads him home, and that's where he ends. He falls all the way home, and that's where he decides to stay, feeling a little bit miserable about himself, but that's what it is. He's evil, but he can try to atone or whatever. So yeah, that's route number 226, the Fall Home, and I'll see you guys next time.